YouTube family, what is good with my people? It is nice to be back with another video for you guys. It is going to be mid fade with a nice little design part on the side, and then we're also going to clean up the top. And I pray that today that you would gain some insight and some knowledge that you didn't know before, and that this would benefit you in some way, shape, or form. And if it does, please hit that like and subscribe button, drop a comment, and let me know what you think about the video. But as you can see, we started off the haircut with our bald line, and when setting in this line, I want to start it where the end of the eyebrow is, and you'll see me kind of drop it towards the back. And what this does is allow the fade to fit the shape of the client's head a little bit better, you feel me? At this angle, you can see pretty well what I meant when I said I dropped it towards the back a little. And at this angle, it also shows how it fits his head shape pretty well. And going into this next step, we're going to go with our clipper all the way open, keeping that same shape that we made with the bald line. And when setting your guidelines, you want to make sure that the length of the guideline is consistent throughout the entire head. You'll see me go over the guideline more than once. Reason being is because you want to make sure when you set the guideline that it is open all the way through. You know what I mean? You want to make sure it's open at the top of the guideline as well, because you don't want it to be open and then at the top of the guideline it's kind of open, kind of a one. You know what I mean? That makes it a little bit more confusing when you're fading. So you want to make sure that guideline is open. And going into the next guideline, it is our one guard open, and again we're doing the same exact thing, going up about a half an inch, keeping that same shape. But man, guys, I'm missing the shop more than I could ever explain to you guys. I cannot wait till we can, kind of go back to normal life, or at least work. I miss my clients, I miss my people, I miss recording content, I miss all of it, you know what I mean? But to go into the next step, we're still going over it. Like I said, you want to make sure that guideline is, even all the way through. Alright, so the next step is going to be a 2-guard all the way open, and this will be the biggest guard that we use. And when setting this, it's not going to be a guideline. With this guard, you want to make sure that you're flicking. You want to blend into the top as best as you can. So when you go in with your shears and your thinning shears, you don't have a lot of work to do. So this is the 2-guard open, following that same shape, but we're making a conscious effort to flick out when we get towards the top of the head. And now right under that, as you can see I pointed out, we're going to go with our 1.5 all the way open. And we're going to attack that line. You want to use the flick out motion, use a lot of the corners to get into those dark areas that you can't get when the clipper is flat. And then you'll see me close it, gradually as needed. So I'll attack the line with the 1.5 open, and if open is not doing the job, I'll go ahead and close it. You may be wondering why I'm leaving the hair at the bottom of the fade, and what it creates when I leave it at the bottom is sort of a contrast. So when I'm blending, it allows me to have a contrast to the blend and see dark areas a little bit better than is if I was to bald it out straight from the beginning. So if you never tried it before, go ahead and try it out. You know what I mean? It's worth a try. It goes ahead and switch up the system a little bit so you don't get too comfortable. But it's something I recently started doing. I kind of enjoy it, but I'll switch on and off. You guys already know how I am. I have a system, but sometimes I'll get bored and I'll switch it up a little bit. You got to stay on your toes. And now I grabbed my 2-guard again because I felt like I needed to remove some weight in some dark areas, and I'm going in with it open. Trying to blend it as best as possible. With cutting hair, man, you just gotta stay patient because it's not gonna go as planned most of the time. Hair, you know what I mean, is not the same on everyone. So you kind of gotta do trial and error, figure out what works on their head. And now you'll see me point out the next line we're gonna go ahead and attack, and we're gonna go ahead and get that out with the half guard all the way open, and then we'll close it gradually as needed. And when taking out guidelines, I always start open. Reason being is because you can, take hair off, but you can't put it back. So if you try to take out a guideline closed and you take off too much, you might have to raise the fade a little bit. But if you start off open and it's not doing the job, then you can close it. You feel me? So be safe. So I'm going in open, and right here I close it a little bit because it wasn't doing the job. And I'm just attacking those dark areas and trying to get that blend as smooth and as consistent as possible. And I'll go ahead and grab my one guard and detail a little bit more. And you'll see before I move on, I try to get everything above that last line as nice as possible. So I'm just grabbing guards, figuring out what's gonna work to get that dark area out. Come back. I think that is a 1.5 open. And you'll see some weight at the top of the ridge area, but we are going to blend that and soften the area up with our thinning shears after we do the fade. Alright, and to take out that last line, I'm going to go in with my clipper closed. And you'll see me just hit that line. Not go up too much, but we're just going directly toward, at the line. And then we'll open it gradually as we get towards the top of that fade. And you'll see it come together slowly, you feel me? And then after you get through your steps, you can go back and detail, which is where the money is made. It is what separates the good from the great. And if you want to be great, you got to make sure that you're paying attention to the details, because that is what's going to take that normal haircut to an Instagram level haircut. And then eventually, when you do stuff with excellence, opportunity follows. You feel me? So I'm going ahead and attacking that line with it closed. And then right here, you'll see me open it a little bit. And if you guys ain't peep, your boy got an Apple Watch for his birthday. My birthday was on March 24th. I just turned 21, but your boy didn't get to do nothing, obviously, because we had to be stuck in the crib. But it's all good. I didn't plan on drinking anyway. I ain't about that life. But I got an Apple Watch, and it's something I wanted for a while, so I was lit. And from this angle, you can see that blend is coming together nicely. And I'm just going ahead and detailing those darker areas. And you can see how the hair brings out those dark areas a little bit better. It just gives like a contrast from the dark to lightness, you feel me? So this is my 1.5 open, going into that dark area, looking out a little. Shout out to my little brother Jalen out here. That's my little brother. It's my guy. For being my model. My mom just dyed his hair. She didn't do a good job because it's orange, but it's all good. He's a kid. But we're going to go ahead and connect the other side with this side. And we're going in, connect the left side with the right side. My bad. And we're going to go in with the clipper all the way open. Just like we did. Staying consistent. Trusting the process. And the system that we have in place. And perfecting it. And then we're going to grab our one guard open. And move up. Fam, down in the comments, let me know what you guys have been doing to occupy your time in these days. Have you been watching videos, reading books, spending time with the family? What is something that you're doing to try to elevate yourself during this time that we have off? Because I know for me, what I've been doing is obviously trying to edit these videos and, still produce content. But towards the end of this, your boy is going to run out of content. So that's one reason I can't wait to be back in the shop. But I've been reading my word a little bit more, watching videos on how to cut, how to deal with my finances a little bit better, and then just spending time with the family. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that I use this time to, really sharpen up on some stuff that was hard to sharpen up on when life was kind of normal and I was working and my time was occupied, you feel me? But down in the comments, let me know what you guys have been doing to occupy your time. I would love to hear it, conversate a little bit. And if you guys want to connect a little bit better, follow me at Dreclipperhands on Instagram. I'm really trying to grow my Instagram and as well as my YouTube, but especially my Instagram. So if you can do me a favor and go follow at Dreclipperhands, DM me, let me know what you guys have been doing, how you feeling, any questions you have. I would love to chop it up with you. But now we're gonna go ahead and blend down. This is our 1.5 open, and you'll see a slight line towards the arch area, and that's because he previously had a design, but we're gonna go ahead and add a design anyway, so you don't really have to worry about that line because we're gonna set it in again. And this is our 2 guard open, just blending into the top a little bit better. Moving on to our next step, this is our half guard open, and you'll see me play with the lever and close it gradually as needed, like I did just right here. And you can see that blend is connecting with the other side very well. The back is the most important part of the fade because it is where the left side and the right side of the fade meet. And if the left side is a little bit lower than the right side, or the right side is a little bit higher than the left side, when you connect it in the back, it's not gonna look consistent and even, and the blend is gonna be kind of thrown off, you feel me? So you want to make sure you're paying attention to the back and detailing that area the most. And it is also the area of the head where there's the most canvas space to blend, so you want to make sure you're taking a little bit extra time in that area because there's a lot of indentations. That is where the occipital bone is located, so you want to make sure you're detailing those dark areas as best as possible. But now this is my clipper closed, and I'm just playing with the lever trying to smooth out that blade, that blend, you feel me? This time away from the shop has definitely reassured me though that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do in my life. It is where the Lord has placed me, because the passion and love that I have for this industry and this career and barbering in and of itself is so crazy, because the fact that I'm missing my job is something that not a lot of people can say. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely miss my job, waking up every morning, going to work, cutting hair, conversating. Like, I miss it. This is my passion. This is something I'm fired up about, and I cannot wait to get back in the shop, family. I just want to execute on goals and just perfect every aspect of barbering of my life, you feel me? And yeah, I know that's how I'm feeling. Let me know how you guys are feeling during these times, you know what I mean? But now that blend is looking real nice. We're gonna go back in detail obviously towards the end, but that blend is looking tough. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to the top, and I'm just gonna wet the hair, and we're not taking much off. We're just gonna clean up the ends, so I don't do a lot of sectioning. Just kind of pull it up, look at what's uneven, and then just trim it. So I start in the middle, move towards the back. My guy Jalen's out here mean mugging you. It's my little brother. Shout him out. Follow him on TikTok if you haven't already. Look at my last video on coronavirus. He's in there sharing how he feels. And I have his TikTok on there. He's trying to grow that as well. He's only 9. So go show some love on TikTok for Jalen. And you can see I'm just cleaning up the ends of it. Now we're gonna add some 245 indestructible clay, and this is my last puck of indestructible clay. And I don't know if Chris Bassio's gonna re-up on it and sell it again, but this is my favorite product that I've ever used, and unfortunately It is not being sold at the moment, but that's what I used. And now we're gonna go ahead and line them up. And me and my brother were born with some big foreheads. So what I had to do to kind of give him a hairline is section off some hair just so I can go ahead and line that up. So I'm gonna go ahead and lift up the long hair and then comb down those baby hairs. They're not necessarily baby hairs, but for the sake of the video, we're gonna call them baby hairs. And I'm just gonna section it off, and then I'm gonna go ahead and line that up. Alright, now I'm gonna spray some hairspray just so I can lock it in place, so I can reassure that the hair won't move. And I'm gonna start in the middle and move towards the right side of the head, making sure that I'm keeping it natural while getting it as crispy as possible. And his box area is pretty light, so it's not going to look very drastic when I line it up, but we're just going to go ahead and clean that up a little. And now we're going to go ahead and move towards the right side of the head, making sure it's straight as possible without pushing it back too much. Alright, and now we're going to go ahead and line up the arches. So we start at the top of the arch, and then we'll go to the bottom and meet it in the middle, and that should allow you to get that nice round shape without getting too cosmetic and pushing it back too much, you know what I mean? And when you put that line on there, it brings out some flaws in the fade, because what the line acts as is a framework to the fade that you did on the side. So it allows you to see minor imperfections in the fade when you do line it up, you feel me? And now we're gonna go ahead and hit it with the razor to detail it a little bit, get rid of those little hairs that you can't really see with your eye, but make a big difference when you hit it with the razor. And we are going to use a little bit of hair fibers just to darken up that arch and box area. And we're gonna keep it looking very natural. So you wanna just spray it on the hairline in those lighter areas. Now we're just gonna go ahead and reline it, and you can see as we line it up how it just takes that box line up to another level, and it just sharpens it up. It is temporary, but it looks very natural, and it just takes the haircut to another level, kind of puts you in a different category as a barber, you know what I mean? And now we're gonna go ahead and get into the design, and it is gonna be like a little zigzag. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with a little roundish kind of sloping line. And I want to start off by making my lines, you know, thin. You don't want to make them super thick because you can always go back and widen them up. But this is just getting the framework and the idea of the design on the head, you know what I mean? Just staying consistent, staying calm. It's kind of like drawing, but kind of not at the same time. But it just takes practice, you know what I mean? And still to this day, I am not the best at designs. I can do them, but what I prefer to do are small ones like this that add to the haircut, you know what I mean? And you're gonna go ahead and flip that trimmer around because there are two sides to a line, and this is just going to thicken it up a little bit and give that design a little bit of character. And now we're gonna hit it with the razor. Make sure you stretch the skin. You don't want to cut them because it will distract from the design, you know what I mean? So you want to stretch the skin. Just get the little hairs in between so you can really make it pop. And again, there are two sides to a line, so you want to make sure you especially stretch the skin when hitting it from the opposite direction. But this is again just getting rid of the little stubble in between the lines so that design can really pop on the head. And now we're just going to clean them up, you know, all in the details, bald the rest of it out. Just finish up this haircut, you know what I mean? And you can see as we brought them out how everything comes together. And that blend is looking super tough, family. It fits my little brother's head shape very well. It's blurry, it's sharp. And even in the back, that blend is consistent throughout the head. And now we're gonna hit it with the shaver to get it a little bit more gradiency, get it to the skin. And this is my little brother, so I know how his head is. He can take the shaver, but when cutting little or like younger kids, you want to be careful because you don't want to make a younger, you know, kid bump up, because the parent can definitely, you know, spread rumors and say you're a dirty barber. So be careful when using the shaver on little kids, and if you want to be more safe, just don't use them at all. But this is my little brother, so I know he can take them or take it. And now this is the razor comb by Hawk Vision. He is a barber in Atlanta, and the razor comb is super dope. I just got it, you know, last week. And it just smooths out the fade, gets rid of those, you know, stray hairs and stick up hairs, and smooths out that fade real nice. But YouTube, this is the cut. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hit that like and subscribe button. Follow me at Dreclipperhands. And yeah, hopefully you guys learned something from this video. Much love. Stay safe, family out here. Catch y'all next time.